Hello, welcome back. I'm Brendan Lee. In this video, I want to talk to you about something that I see psychologists getting wrong, and I want you to consider it with me. Let me take you on a journey. Let me take you on a little bit of a journey. When you're out in the world and you're considering things, I want you to listen carefully because there's a lot of people talking about emotions and emotional trauma and stress and mental health, and there's like all kinds of shit about mental health out there in the world. And a few things come to mind that I would want to bring to light from the position of it's kind of like this. You ever seen somebody out there and they have a problem? Again, I go to this victim mentality well a lot because it's very easy to see in certain areas, and now I'm going to use it in a different way. But it's like when you look at somebody who's a victim, right? You can see that them being a victim is completely dependent on what they think, and if they were to change their thinking, they would not be a victim anymore. They'd be done. And there are stories, if you listen out in the world, you know, there are people that have had some success, and they more than once I've heard a story like this. They're like they've hit rock bottom, and then they make a decision to not be that anymore, and they're done with it, and then they fucking change based on a decision. See, and then they do something else with their time, with their mind, how they think, how they feel. They retrain themselves. So I know it's possible. I have also had experiences where I have been in one state of mind and instantly not been in that state of mind anymore. Instantly, not like a sit 20 years on a couch and go to therapy for fucking ever, but done deal. It's possible. Okay, so, and then when I hear people talking, at least the more work I've done, and I'm coming from a place of, with the victim, wouldn't it be nice if you could somehow communicate to them in a way where they got what you were saying, and then they instantly grasp, holy shit, this world that I'm in sucks, let's do a new one, and then they got it, and then done deal? Like, wouldn't that be the way to go? Like, let's get it done? For example, I hear tell, and I hear tell from a reliable source, but I haven't done the research, that Freud said a couple of things. One, don't give this psychology stuff to doctors, and two, get it done quickly. Like, get it over with. And so I have problems with, say, medical companies that are living off of providing pills for people because they've got mental challenges, and they likely have, because they are committed to their survival as a company, they have a vested interest in making sure that people stay unhealthy. And or if people were to suddenly get fucking mentally healthy, they would have no more business. So why do we do that? And I think it's just in our culture we're a little stupid. And what I mean by that is we're making some assumptions that are keeping us stuck in a frame of mind. Here are some of them. One, listen. So, now, how do you grasp this for yourself? Rather than just hearing about it, follow me on a journey, okay? And you're invited to consider. Listen and pay attention to the way people talk when they talk about emotions. We'll start there. You listen to the way they talk. And no, I'm not talking semantics. Like right now, yes, I want you to pay attention to the language, because the language is representing a distinction. The language is representing a reality. You talk about the thing. You talk about the distinction you make, whatever it is. You talk about the experience you're having. You see, the words are not the thing itself, but if you listen to the words, it will give you a clue as to what the fuck people are talking about. One of the things, if you listen, when people are talking about emotions, you will hear people reference emotions as if it is it. Right away, it is something in the body. We can start there. There's plenty to go off of just there, some assumptions. It is something in the body. It. So we start with it. What is an it? When you say it, what are you talking about? Likely, without really thinking about it, you are talking about an it like an object. And what I mean by that is it is something that exists. Something. Something. Now, what is a thing? See, we don't really question this shit, right? Like, what is a thing even? What is a thing? Well, a thing is something you experience, right? Now, what are the only things you experience? You perceive things. You see things, you hear things, right? That's where? Out in this perceptive world. Now, what's the stuff that you perceive? Objects. Objects. You perceive objects. All around you are objects. Your body's an object. You see what we call objects. And do we even know what that is? No. We don't even know what objects are. So right away, we don't even know a whole bunch of stuff. You see objects. Now, you might think, yeah, but my thoughts aren't objects. But no. Likely you still hold that they're objects. Why? Because you'd say, I would say, hey, where are your thoughts? And you say, well, they're in here. Where? In your head? Yeah. That's, again, like an object. You're thinking that your thought is a thing that has a location somewhere in your head. And you live that. You live that is a reality without really questioning it, usually. Like, it takes me quite a bit just to get somebody to question this, usually in a workshop, right? Which you're invited to, of course. See, but then check the assumptions. Check it out. Like, what are you assuming? Where is an emotion? Or like, I've heard, like, Dr. Gabor Mate, he's doing the rounds with the psychological stuff, and he's like talking about a trauma and emotions. Fine. I see, like, it seems like he has good intentions, but still, he's making the same assumptions. An emotion, it's like something that comes through you. What? Again, something that goes through you as if it has an objective quality, which is like an object, somewhat like an object which is also located. Where is the emotion located? Well, it's inside me. Yeah, but where? Oh, wait. There's a reason why emotions, you can't buy an emotion at a store. Because it's not a fucking object. But really not an object. Now, one of the reasons why I harp on this again and again and again is because there's a difference between intellectually knowing something's not an object and grasping the reality that it is not an object. Those are different. And we fuck that one up all the time too. You think that what you think is what's true. See? You think that just because you think about an emotion as not an object means that you're not living like it's not an object. I don't know if that made any sense. You might think, you're like, oh, I think my emotions aren't objects, but you really live that they are, that it is a thing inside you, right? And, okay, so you got that? So you got those assumptions? Can you start to pull those apart? In life, if you want this to make a difference, start to pay the fuck attention. Pay attention to what people are saying, how they're saying it. It will tell you what they're thinking and how they're living. What they really believe is true. Oh, an emotion moves through me. It has to move through me. It, like an object? So now, if we get rigorous and tell the truth, can you really say it's an it, like an object? Well, yeah, but where? One, where is it? 2, go buy, or 3, go buy me one. 4, you can't find it. 5, if you're asleep, you're not having emotions. So how about instead of one talking about an emotion as something that is somewhere, let's get a little more honest and consider that emotions are not a thing somewhere. They are something that you are doing, an activity you are doing. Why would I say it's an activity you're doing? Well, you can stop doing it. And an emotion isn't what you think it is. Usually, see, and then, okay, so backing up a little bit, what's one of the things that's a little bit tricky about this is our experience, as far as I can tell, our experience is one of, and isn't it true for you? If not, let me know, tell me. An emotion is something that just happens to you. It feels like it happens to you, and it's out of your control. Again, challenge that. Is it something that happens to you, and is it out of your control? It's like, yeah, but it just happens. I can't do anything about it. Fine, if you can't do anything about it, then fuck it, dude. Let's go have whiskey. Buy me some whiskey. And you go drink by yourself. See? Then you're fucked. How about instead if we get a little more honest and consider it's an activity you're doing, it just doesn't look like that. But it has to be something you're doing because nobody else does your emotions. Whose emotions are they? Someone else? Is it actually caused by stuff outside of you? If you don't really know where an emotion is, or perhaps if you can find the place in your experience where you don't know what it is, like how it actually occurs, then you don't know if it's caused by external circumstances. And again, if it is caused by external circumstances, then I could then control somebody's emotions by doing something that controls them. And then you'd say, yeah, but Brendan, you could control somebody's emotions. Not if they don't want me to, and not if they don't let me. So again, that means that they are doing it. So I want you to challenge that, because getting to some of my gripe is like, it looks to me like people are spending a lot of time dwelling on how mentally fucked up they are. It's like I hear the arguments, yeah, but people are fucked up. It's like, have you ever stopped to consider what being fucked up is? Or have you ever stopped to consider what health is? Not how do I get healthy, not how do I make myself better, but what is health? Do you see how that's in a different domain? There's what I do about being unhealthy, make me better, feel better, take the drugs, do the therapeutic activities, blah, 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 rather than questioning, why is my experience this way in the first place? What creates my experience to be this way? Kind of like, metaphorically speaking, say I'm building a house, and I get inside the house, and then when I'm in the house, I'm busy like plugging things in and playing video games and cooking meals and, fucking my girlfriend or having fun or relaxing or whatever. It's like that's what I do inside the house. Or if the house is on fire, I get out of the house, you see? None of that is studying what a house is or how it's built. That's just what do I do about the house. You see the difference? So now, I don't see many people questioning what is health. How is health built? What is it? I don't hear many psychologists doing that, because everybody is committed to how do I fix the problem, because that's where the fucking money is, or whatever. See? Or I have a really bad experience. I have a bad experience. What do I do about it? How about studying what the fuck creates a bad experience and then stop doing that? How about that idea? There's a radical thought. See, you're like 50 Cent, rapper, very successful. He's like, man, when you're on the street, being depressed is a luxury. You don't got time to be fucking depressed. You're too busy, like, hustling. You see? And then I can imagine there are a world of people that would be bitching about, no, but my depression is important, my emotions and blah, 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 blah. It's like, some people actually live in a world where it's like, no, fuck your emotions. You don't have time for that shit. You see? So now, what can you do about that? You can question what health is. You can question what an emotion is. And there is this radical possibility. I know it's just weird because, again, it's like I just got done doing workshops here. And there's like another world available that I keep trying to get people to get. And when people come in, and then especially this time more and more, like people don't know that's available. They don't understand that there's more to what they think. There's more than what they think. There's more than what they intellectualize. There's more than what they feel. There's like what the feeling actually is. There's this domain, we call it like grasping something, having an experiential knowledge, having an insight, making a breakthrough. This domain where it's like you grasp something about some matter that is non-intellectual, and it is true about that. So it may not be ultimately true, but relatively it is true. It's true in that sense, and you get it, and then you go, holy shit. These other people are looking at a totally different world. They're incorrect, which a lot of people are incorrect about emotions. Everybody in this culture, not everybody, most people are talking about emotions as if they are something somewhere, and it's outside of their control, and it's just a feeling that comes up from where they don't know, but it's probably related to their psychology and their story and what happened to them. And then that's it. And then they fucking pump the drugs, do the stuff, commit themselves to a life of like, oh my God, I need to be healthy, I need to do the thing, I need to da-da-da. Whereas perhaps the problem is your fucking mind. Turn your mind around. Change your mind, you won't have the problems. Change how you think, you won't have the same emotions. Then you don't need the drugs. You don't need the healthy practices. You don't need to be fucking these ups and downs and all this weird shit. You don't need to suffer the same shit again and again and again and again and again. Because I got news for you. You know, I look at some people here and there. They're old. They're older. They're still suffering the same shit again and again. If you stack up enough agains, you're going to die. You do the thing, it doesn't fix it. You do the same thing, doesn't fix it. You do the same thing, you see where it's going? And dead. How much longer do you want to go? All right? So I've got I've got gripes with this whole psychological shit. And maybe we can move past that. Maybe there's another way. Maybe there's something else. Okay? Now, I'm not saying some people can't benefit from psychology, psychoanalysis, psychotherapy, psychiatry, whatever. I'm not saying that there aren't some people that could benefit from that, but I suspect by and large, many, many people, if they only understood their mind and reality in a certain way and grasped what's actually going on, they could turn that shit around themselves. They could just end it. Be done with that shit. But the likelihood that that's going to happen, I think, is maybe just over a snowball's chance in hell. Because culturally, I think we're too stuck for now. Maybe in another 100 years, I don't know. All right, so there's a consideration for you about psychology. Last thing I'll leave you with here is, in addition to what I just said, in terms of grasping and becoming conscious of what's true maybe what's true that allows for psychology to exist in the first place. So in order to discover that, is that going to be more psychology? Or like, say, the nature of space, for example. How are you going to discover that through using psychological means? It's what allows for your body to exist. How are you going to psychologically do that? Like, use your mind to do that. You cannot. Which is where we have this other possibility. We call it becoming directly conscious. This is not of the mind. It's not even of experience and perception, but that's another story. At least I'm explaining and or putting the possibility out there so that you can have that too. All right? So thanks for watching. Come do stuff. Blah, blah. Come to a workshop. One of the things I recently launched is a school community. So if you want to get involved with people that are into this work, come join our school community. It's free to join. You get benefits there. You get weekly. There's a weekly newsletter in the community. You have a group of like-minded people, so there's the possibility to connect. We have some additional courses there at a discount that you can check out. And then the main thing is, it's like a jumping off point to go from, if you want to do more of this work and you want to get involved, which if you're going to make progress, you need to get involved. That's just the way it goes. then it gives you a free platform that you can start to get engaged with the work and see if it's even something that you like. All right, so I'll link that in the description. It's school.com/theconsciousnesspath, 3 words separated by dashes. You can come check it out. Otherwise, check the links. Go check out other stuff that you can do if you want to do it. Much love. Take care. Bye.